All your base art belong to us.
You're listening to Gamers Digest, a podcast where your hosts put the controllers down just long enough to talk about gaming news, rumors, and anything else they can think of. Here are your hosts, Spider-One and Mr. Factastic.
Here we are, Spider-One, Mr. Factastic, Gamers Digest, another week. We're up to episode 56.
Episode 56, yeah.
I'm going to say every episode number till we hit 100, and then I'm never going to mention it again. So,
Okay.
We talk about gaming news, rumors, pretty much anything we want to involving, gaming, video games, our main hobby of choice.
Yeah, it pretty much is. So what did you play this week?
I had a pretty busy week in
Yeah,
gaming. More than I ever thought I'd be able to accomplish with the kid around. But honestly, I think the 3DS is really paying for itself because it's perfect for the fact that
You can play it on the fly.
right. It's really good. I can just open it up. Like I'm playing Pokemon right now. Pokemon Black and White 2. I forget which one I actually bought. But I just open it up, do a few battles, close it. Or we have this thing that we can set her in, and she'll sit in my lap in that, and then I'll just play Pokemon while she's asleep, so she can get some sleep. Like I work from home today.
So basically, she's gonna be a Pokemon master.
Yeah, I mean she should know all the yells and stuff.
Mhm.
So
What's super effective against what?
right, I don't even remember. Like as I'm playing through this new one, like there's so much stuff. Like Magnemite. You remember Magnemite, the little ball with like the two magnets on the side
Okay, yeah.
with the eye? Well, like when I played, he was just an electric Pokemon.
Yeah.
Now he's like a steel and electric Pokemon, and I'm like, what the hell
What?
is this? So like,
Blasphemy.
yeah, I really have to still acclimate myself to it. But I'm
The new
enjoying
rule
it.
set.
Right. And I'm still playing Fire Emblem, Ocarina of Time, mixing that in. Right now it's mostly been Pokemon on 3DS because it's just so perfect. I can just pick it up,
Yeah.
do a few battles, close it, move on. I did some Borderlands 2, rounded out the last of the achievements for Tiny Tina, which is amazing. That DLC was amazing. I'm actually scared to go play the other DLC to be disappointed.
Oh.
So
Hmm.
and then I did Last of Us. I picked
Yeah.
up Last of Us on Redbox, and
pretty
you
cool.
pretty much had like the gameplay experience. For
Yeah,
that.
I was like secondhand
You were like
player, smoke player.
player driving from the backseat player,
Yeah, backseat player.
right? But I'm gonna review Last of Us, and just to kind of throw this out there, but it might be the best survival horror game I've played in the last probably 3 years.
Yeah, I could definitely see it being up
Yeah. I'll talk about it more in my review. But what did you play this week?
there. Final Fantasy 13. I've been chipping away at it just little by little. I still haven't gotten past the part that I first got to or left off at when I played it on the PS3. I'm playing on the 360 now, but I'm just whittling away at it. Whenever I have time.
Where are you now? Like,
I'm
are they
still,
together yet? Or
No, they're still separated. They're like getting close to getting back together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 13 gets a lot of flack, but I personally like 13 in some ways. Like, I really enjoyed the battle system. Like, I think they finally nailed the battle system. The story was a little weird, and since you haven't beaten it, I don't want to ruin it, but it's kind of one of those things where the end boss just kind of comes out of nowhere. They're kind of like, here's a bad guy, you fight this bad guy over and over again, and then finally they're like, well, actually it's this guy pulling the strings,
Yeah.
and that's who you fight for the bad guy.
Typical Square.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Final Fantasy 7 and even 8 to a point, there's like one central bad guy, and you kind of work through that. So, in 6 there was a major central bad guy. So,
10 also had a
Sin.
Sin, yeah.
And they still throw that Shyamalan curve at you with Sin, but
A little bit, yeah.
so,
Mhm.
but it's still the bad guy. So I like 13. I never played 13 2. Lightning Returns, I'm kind of interested in. I'm seeing more of it, and I'm kind of liking it. But still not sold on it.
I'm still getting used to the fact that I'm only controlling just one character.
Right.
But I like it, you know. But I'll get used to it.
You have indirect control over the other ones, so you can set how they play,
Yeah.
and, you know, all the other stuff like the tanks and, you know, stuff
True.
like that. So it's pretty good. News. We got a whole lot of news this
Yeah.
week. We got some pretty big news stories that actually coincide with non-gaming news. Like we're really topical this week. But we'll get into that. I saved that kind of stuff for last. So
This story right here is actually really interesting because when I picked up Final Fantasy 13 last week, there was a let me tell the story. Most retailers are out of Xbox One and PS4
Right.
pre-orders, and when I was picking up Final Fantasy 13, there's this couple had just come into the store to pre-order I believe it was the PS4, and they couldn't do it.
right, they
You know, they're
shut them out.
And they were like the guy there. I was kind of half paying attention because I was looking at this one girl who's like restocking things. You know,
Looking at her.
I was distracted. I was distracted a little
She had
bit.
some games you wanted.
Yeah, she had some games. You know, games I wanted to play. But basically, you know, he was like just saying, you know, like they can't do anymore. You know,
Right.
They can't. They're not allowed. You know, they talk about other. It has something to do with other retailers like, you know, Best Buy, Walmart, stuff like that. They just need to. This is something that they
And
have
this
to
was
do.
GameStop. Right?
Yeah, this was GameStop.
Yeah,
So-
you can. I put most because there are some places you can still get them.
Mhm.
Like you can still get PS4 at Best Buy, and you can still get the Xbox One, I believe, through some electronic stores like Fry's and stuff like that. But they're all, you know, they're all getting close. So I
Yeah.
mean, that could be wrong.
This is
As of
I
now.
find this surprising because you know originally like last year I was talking about how like I don't see a huge need to jump onto the new system bandwagon just yet. I mean, Last of Us looked amazing. The Grand Theft Auto 5 stuff we saw looked
Right.
amazing. Beyond Two Souls I know looks amazing. It's like I mean I don't see like a desperate need for me to jump to the new consoles yet. You know, I planned on waiting. I just find it really surprising that right out. I mean, they're not even out yet, and they're selling out.
It's that new console syndrome. I mean, you can't discredit the fact that it's new, it's pretty.
Mhm.
You know, all the games that they've showcased for both of them look amazing,
Mhm.
and you know all the new features and stuff. I guess some people see the need for it, and then there are those people that are just buying them to resell them. So you can't discredit those.
Forgot
either.
about that. Yeah. Oh, this would be a really good time to buy it.
I know. I'm kicking myself because I was like, I was kind of like you. I was like, there's gonna be a demand. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we'll see them be popular, but I don't think they'll sell out. And now I'm like, oh man, that was
I
stupid.
wanted to do that for the Wii U, but I mean, like,
Well, that would have been a
yeah,
mistake.
Yeah, that would have been a huge mistake, but I don't know. It might be a worthy investment.
Yeah, I mean,
Holiday season.
I would have easily, like, had I known, you know, 2 months ago or a month ago when they started pre-orders, had I known that it was going to get to this point this quick, especially with Microsoft doing the 180,
Mm-hmm.
I would have easily put $400 on my credit card to make $800 or
Yeah,
you know, however much, even if it's 500, even if it's 600,
you're still making a profit.
still making $100.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, I'm thinking about it, but I think that window is closed. So
It's closing very quickly.
right. So yeah, if you're really interested, I would really recommend finding a place to pre-order it that still has it. Amazon has the Xbox One, but they don't have the Day One edition, which I'm not quite sure what the difference is.
Yeah.
I think it's like a special controller and something else special, but you can still get the regular Xbox One. So if you really want an Xbox One, that seems like the way to go. So Valve introduced a new feature this week along with their Steam sale, which is our deal of the week. But I'll go over that when we get to the deal of the week. They introduced what they call the pipeline, which is pretty much an answer to the biggest question most people in the game industry gets asked is, how do I get into the game
How do I
industry?
get into the game industry?
So Valve basically put this out there as a source for people who want to get into the game industry.
Mhm.
You know, teens in college and stuff, going to school for this stuff. You know, so this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought it was neat, and like it's expected to grow It's got this basically like an FAQ
Right.
with a whole bunch of questions and stuff that kids would have. And, I mean, the landscape for gaming is changing, and they need new bodies, they need new
Right.
blood. So this is, I mean, it is a good way to.
Yeah, there's no downside to this. Like
Mhm.
Valve comes out looking like a winner. Everybody that wants to get into the gaming industry gets some of their questions answered. I'm sure they can't answer all
At
of
least
them.
they get pointed into the right direction where they want to go.
Right.
And I mean, this stuff wasn't out there.
Right. So, overall, I think it's a good thing. I think honestly, more companies should do this. Like, smaller developers and stuff who want to create bigger games could probably go out and say, we're looking for this, so and so. So that would be pretty good. Our closing down news of the week.
Yeah.
EA Phenomic. I guess that's how you say it. EA Phenomic has closed down. Pretty much, they're mostly known for their Command and Conquer free to play. They do some other stuff, some mobile stuff, but really, they've been around for a while, but they haven't done too much for EA
Since
so.
like what, 99 or something?
97.
97.
So, yeah, I mean,
Good year.
sucks to see a developer close down, but I'm sure most of these people will be picked up. So,
Yeah, somewhere else.
RTSs are all over the place now. So
Exactly.
the other closing, or kind of closing, is Hi-Res Studios. They do Smite. They do all kinds of other stuff. Is actually halting the support for Tribe Ascends, their free-to-play online first-person shooter.
I saw my brother playing that, and it looked pretty cool.
But yeah, they stopped support for it for at least 6 months, and they said it could be indefinite as they try to focus on Smite and a couple of their other projects. Pretty much what that says to me is not a whole lot of people are playing Tribes, and they're making more money on this other stuff. So
Yeah,
they're shifting resources.
They're
around.
shifting resources, and if anything, the stuff that they had like one guy working on stuff for it, and it might be enough to do something else Tribes related.
Right. So, Arma 2. Most people know Arma 2 from the mod DayZ. We've talked about it. We've previewed it. Everybody who has a PC pretty much knows about DayZ now. Their website was hacked, so if you have a password through them, you should probably change it.
Yeah.
Just simple warning. It's not a huge news, but
Yeah.
I like to grab some of these stories.
The credit card information and nothing like that was taken. Like the passwords were
they
encrypted, but it still happens.
they can eventually break it. So now that they have it, this is big news, I think.
Angry Birds,
Yeah.
Star Wars prequels are coming September 19th.
And they're going to be horrible. They're going to be horrible.
Aren't they exclusive to the Apple?
Initially they'll be exclusive to Apple, as far as what I read. But yeah, they're going to incorporate all the birds from the prequels. Even Jar Jar Binks. Which I hope he's a bad guy, so you can like blow him up. But other than that, Angry Birds. Everybody loves Angry
What
Birds.
I thought was weird was that it incorporates telepods. Okay, it says devices that will allow players to transport their physical toy into the game, kind of like Skylanders.
So
like
going Angry Birds
yeah.
Skylanders.
Yeah, I mean, Angry Birds is already a huge, behemoth, and then
They're pumping in that
they're
Skylanders
they're
stuff.
they're gonna milk it big time.
They're
People buy that Angry Birds stuff.
Yeah, and it seems like everybody's jumping on the Skylanders train because we're gonna talk about Disney Infinity
Disney Infinity.
now that we have more information. So we're gonna put that out there, and I'm actually, I don't want to say excited for it, but I'm intrigued by it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to preview. I wouldn't have wanted to preview it this week if I didn't see the Tonto and Jack Sparrow little trailer thing. I'm like, okay, that looks kind of cool. Let me look more into this game.
Well, big news for Nintendo of the week.
Crickets chirp.
Yeah, really. Olimar, I don't know how to say that.
Olimar.
The guy from Pikmin and Pikmin are going to be in Super Smash Brothers. This isn't a huge surprise. I think they were in a previous Smash Brothers, so they'll be in both versions, the 3DS and the Wii U.
Wii U.
I can't even remember the console name. That's how little we talk about it.
Yeah. That's pretty sad.
Yeah.
State of Decay gets an Australian rating, so that should be coming out soon. It's like what the second game to be banned under the new rating system that they had. So I think it was the drug use in the game.
Right,
Instead of using stimulants, they changed it to
vitamins.
Yeah, vitamins, supplements. So I mean, it's funny that something as simple as that got the game banned.
It wasn't the bashing zombies heads in with 2x4s with nails in it and stuff like that. It was because you're taking Advil and not B complex.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
So Worms 3. We've played Worms.
This is what I think was exclusive.
Maybe. Well, it's mobile exclusive. Worms 3 will be a mobile exclusive. Everybody should know the Worms franchise. It's been around for ever. But I'm intrigued by it because it's still the great Worms gameplay that we've grown to love, the turn-based strategy. But it's asynchronous, so you can play with your friends, and it's kind of like Words with Friends and stuff like that. You can each take your turn whenever you get around to it. So eventually it's going to get to a point where you're waiting for your friend, and you call them up and be like, "Hey, take your turn. I'm tired of my worms sitting here not doing anything."
Yeah.
And then you call your girlfriend up and you're like, "I'm tired of my worms sitting here." I hope somebody gets that joke.
Somebody will.
DuckTales. We talked about DuckTales a lot. Finally has a release date. Actually has a few release dates. The PlayStation Network, the Wii U, and the PC version will be out August 13th. And the Xbox Live version will be out a month later, roughly on September 11th.
What's the difference? The disparity between the two, do you know?
Maybe WayForward doesn't like Microsoft. Maybe they're like... I do know that DuckTales is part of the PlayStation Network, like, summer deal. So I don't know how it has to do with the Wii U and the PC, but you know how like Xbox Live has their arcade of their summer of fun.
Yeah.
Well, PlayStation Network does the same thing, but they call it something different. Yeah. So like right now, I could pre-order DuckTales and get like 30% off. So I might actually do that for PlayStation. Ratchet and Clank are getting what most people think is a remake. It's called Into the Nexus, and it's coming out the holidays. It's only going to be $30, so most people think it's going to be the remake of Ratchet and Clank Nexus, which I know nothing about Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, games. It's like I lost track of the Ratchet and Clank games, to be honest with you. Like they gave away that there's like the free ones you can play, and like this shorter story, the shorter games. Like I just lost track.
Yeah,
they were fun to play.
Right.
Before I just lost track.
So Into the Nexus, holidays, $30. For Ratchet and Clank, you'll probably be picking that up, and I'm sure it'll include something with the movie in it.
I was just about to mention the movie. Yeah, it'd be cool if there's like some kind of tie-in or allusion to it. That'd be cool.
Black Ops 2's latest. I don't even know if I want to call them DLC because it's really just a map pack. Vengeance will be coming out on PC and PS3 August 1st. It's already out on Xbox Live, so if you're an Xbox player and you have Black Ops, you probably already played it. So enjoy your 3 maps for $15.
Pretty much. Have you ever?
Well, I noticed Battlefield is like the same way though. Like their map packs, even though they have some cool new game modes in it, are still like $15 each.
Yeah.
Because they PlayStation Plus is giving Battlefield 3 free this month.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I downloaded it, and I didn't really play it at all yet, but I started looking at the DLC because I was like, well, I feel like I'm only getting part of the game. And it's like to get all the DLC, it's like another $30. I was like,
more than that.
Well, I think it's discounted right now.
Okay. So. Yeah. It's rough.
Yeah.
It is rough. Have you ever played Disgaea?
I'm interested. Like I played Disgaea 2 way back, and they say that's the best one. And they say it's gotten worse. I never really invested the time into it because like those games are like stupid long. They're like 100 hours long or something.
Wow.
But the re-release is coming to North America. Disgaea 2 D2 or whatever they call it in October.
Yeah. So yeah, that's interesting. I like the art. The artwork is cool.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I feel a little dirty looking at it though. It's like although it's very anime-ish in the fact that everybody is either a monster or a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah.
So
weird.
Yeah, it's anime. So,
Yeah.
Dota, Defense of the Agents 2, has been in beta for years. It's most people who have a PC know what it is, but it's the MOBA that's spawned the whole League of Legends and all that. It's the sequel to that one, which was a mod for Warcraft 3. Well, the standalone game through Steam is now live, so you don't need a beta invite for it. You just go ahead and play it.
That's pretty cool.
Check it out. I downloaded it. I downloaded it. I haven't tried it yet. Because it's like League of Legends where it's free to play, but you have certain champions that you get to play as every week, and then they rotate. But if you want a specific champion, you have to pay for them. So I don't know. I never really got into League of Legends. Dota seems a little bit better at least easier to get into. So hopefully I can. I'll give it a shot. I'll report back on it.
Okay. Speaking of Australian
Australia,
Plants vs Zombies 2 is going to be out in Australia for it's like a soft launch, and it's only going to be out there for about a month or so.
Supposedly, I think they're
Australia, New Zealand.
I think they're testing it, and I've been seeing pictures of it, and I'm not real excited for it now because EA. We reported how EA bought PopCap.
Yeah,
and PopCap makes Plants vs Zombies. Well, apparently Plants vs Zombies 2 has a little bit of that microtransaction stuff in it. Like you can, if you want some really good plants to kill those zombies, you have to buy them.
EA.
So
what are you doing? So basically they're seeing how badly it does before they go.
Right. Yeah.
They go live with it like how they do with Dota 2.
Right. So
that's sad.
I'm a little sad at it because Plants vs Zombies, the initial one was really nice because you bought it for however much. I think I initially bought it on mobile for like 99 cents when it went on sale, and then I ended up buying it for PC because I liked it so much. And PC had so much other stuff, but it was like even on PC it was like I think I bought it for $10, and I got all the stuff for it, and that was it. I could play the whole game. I got all the plants, do what I want. Whereas now it's kind of like, well, if I don't spend $5 for this super jalapeno, I feel like I'm gimping myself. So I might avoid Plants vs Zombies 2.
Yeah, that's a bit of a downer.
So Evo was over the weekend. That's the big fighting game esports. Like I'm not too much into the fighting side of it. I like the StarCraft. I like watching League of Legends sometimes. Like that can be fun to watch if there are some good teams. But mostly StarCraft, the RTSs, and stuff like that. Sometimes I'll watch Halo and Black Ops because those can get pretty fun.
Yeah.
But where was I going with this? The fighting side, Evo, was this weekend, and they had the big championships and stuff. And Capcom took that time to kind of reinforce that they want to push up esports, as well as some other people want to push it up, but they use that as their stage to announce their next game, which is Street Fighter 4, but it's Ultra Street Fighter 4. It's gonna have 5 new characters, a bunch of tweaks, kind of level the playing field a little bit, and it's gonna come out early next year, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cool. When is Street Fighter 5?
I think it's gonna be like Street Fighter 2. Like we're gonna see Street Fighter 4 for forever, and then we're gonna see Street Fighter 5, and it's gonna be horrible, and then we're gonna see Street Fighter 6 immediately, and it's gonna be amazing. So,
yeah,
because like Ultra Street Fighter 4, like 3 out of the 5 characters, actually 3 out of the 4 announced characters are characters from Street Fighter 3, which are like lesser known characters.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes, but early 2014 Street Fighter 4 Ultra Edition. And they said that if you have Super Street Fighter 4, you can just pay like $15 and get all the new stuff. So that's kind of cool that they're offering.
It's cool that they offer that as like something you can download.
Right. Injustices. Next DLC will be Martian Manhunter. We kind of knew this was coming because when we played it, he was already in the background. They already had models for him.
Yeah, and we were like, why isn't he in this?
Right. He'll be the 4th DLC, so they didn't really put a time on that. They also said that Green Lantern's going to get a new skin. It's going to be
John Stewart.
Right.
That's the black one, right?
Right.
Okay. And with new voices and everything.
So that's kind of cool that they're really putting a lot of work into this. And Injustice was actually one of the surprises for Evo over the weekend that did really well because they kind of put it in last minute, and that was like one of the most watched that I saw.
Wow.
Other than
did Solomon Grundy just clean out?
No, they have made some adjustments to Solomon Grundy. So he was doing very well, but there were people that could actually counter him. And you got to remember, this isn't like that stream we watched where it's probably like one pro and a bunch of noobs like trying to take him down.
Mm-hmm.
These are pros, so if somebody's chaining Solomon Grundy, someone else knows how to stop that.
Yeah.
So it could be that too. I talked to you about this one earlier. Mm-hmm. The PlayStation has their new marketing campaign. It's Greatness Awaits. It's that big long commercial with tons of stuff in it. All the characters and stuff hidden away in it. Well, they have a new add-in to that called Bid for Greatness. You can go to the Sony Store website. There's a link that says Bid to Greatness, and you can actually use the gold trophies you've earned in games to bid on stuff from that commercial. And these are like high quality stuff. They're like, oh, what are they, sketches and stuff? Well, they have that stuff, but they also have like full costumes.
Yeah, costumes, props.
Right.
Really cool stuff. Swords, maces.
They got stuff from Skyrim. They got stuff from Killzone. They got stuff from Last of Us. It looks like it's gonna be pretty much like an item a day, and you'll probably need a lot of trophies to bid on it because the one today is like a sniper costume, and it was like up to 561 trophies already.
Yeah.
Now, you don't lose the trophies when you bid them. You lose them to bid with, but you don't lose them on your account.
Yeah.
So you go back to your account, you'll still have those 561 gold trophies, but you can't use those 561 to rebid.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean,
pretty cool.
Microsoft needs to step up now. I need to see something with this gamer score. Because I've got a 25,000 gamer score, which I feel like should get me Bill Gates' toenail or something.
It's gonna be. I know on the Xbox. Well, I mean, I know it's competitive already on the PS3, but Xbox they had that gamer score since the beginning.
Right. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, man, who has 561 gold trophies? Because most games really only have like 2 or maybe 3 gold trophies, if that. I've seen games where they've only had 1 gold trophy. It's like a gold and a platinum. So, people who have that many trophies, I'm like, wow, how many games has that guy played?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Bid for Greatness, check it out. I think it's really cool that Sony's doing this. I'd personally like to pick up that clicker mask, so I can run around the house going.
I just look at it and I just feel itchy. At it,
All right, so the first kind of, well, I'd say we had some big news stories, but one of the biggest news stories of the week was Pro League of Legends players are now considered pro athletes under the United States government. They also went on. I did a little more research into it, and they're working on StarCraft 2, and they're working on some of the other esports, but StarCraft 2 and League of Legends are the 2 big ones right now. And what that basically means is they can get their visas and stuff and come over for that.
Yeah, so, they can be able to come here and play.
Which League of Legends has a pretty good overseas following, but StarCraft 2 is just insane. Like it is all Koreans. Yeah. And right now what they're doing is most of them are school age, so they're coming over and going to college over here. So that's kind of their workaround to it. But some of the older players, the ones that can't perpetually be in college.
Yeah.
This is a nice way to do it, and I think this is a big step for esports. Like if they're classifying them as athletes, and these events are starting to pull in hundreds and thousands of people watching it. Yeah. Like the StarCraft WCS finals had over, I think they said 20,000 people watching it in the stands, and they said over 500,000 people watching any given game, with a total of like 400 million views or something
That's
total.
That's insane.
Right. So
That could possibly be better than some sports like.
I'm sure it's
traditional
better than
sports.
major sporting
Yeah.
events. It's just I think I actually had this conversation with Nikki about esports. She's like, oh, she doesn't really buy it yet, and I'm like, you're gonna see, it's
just like HD.
It's coming. Like it's gonna be hard to stop. And she's like, well, it's kind of sad that we're gonna be going from actual athletes and stuff. And I'm like, well, when you think about it, it's a logical transition. Like I was thinking about it, and of course at the time I don't have any good replies to that. I'm like, well, yeah, I still like football. I like seeing guys punch each other.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, it's a good transition for, I don't know if I want to say good, but it's a transition, just like our lives. Like we're going more and more digital.
Mm-hmm.
So why aren't sporting events and entertainment going more digital? I forget what we were watching. I think it was the Penn and Teller bullshit show, and they were saying, how many kids a year get hurt playing football and stuff. Whereas, this kind of stuff is still pretty violent, but nobody's really getting hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So I think esports over the next 5 years are going to get a lot bigger.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun alternative. I'm not saying it should like completely wipe out traditional sports,
Right.
Not by a long shot, but it's just another fun thing that I could turn on. Like football is like super competitive, but we gotta wait once the season's over. What else can we watch that's just as competitive?
Right. And like StarCraft 2 has 4 seasons a year, one for each season, and with a final culminating at the end of the season. So like right now they just started their summer season. Well, summer season's been going on a little bit, but a couple of weeks. So that's year round, and that's pretty cool because like you can tune in anytime you want, watch the events. You have to watch the commercials, so people are getting paid for it.
Yeah.
And most of these guys are mostly getting paid in winnings. So it's a lot like golf where you have to win to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all of them pretty much have sponsorship deals, but most of them, from what I've read, the sponsorship deals are negligible. Like they're like what you would make at a part-time job at their.
Okay.
So it really isn't anything amazing. So this could be really good, and I'm excited for it because obviously I enjoy it. So.
Yeah, like what I do see when I do check these competitions out, it's pretty cool.
Nikki and I were watching StarCraft last night, and she was making fun of it because they have so much weird terminology and stuff. Like StarCraft 2, when the game is over, like it's a lot like chess. When you're beat, you don't want to just draw the game out. You say, all right, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what they say in StarCraft 2 is GG, good game.
Mm-hmm.
But they say GG, and then the announcer's like GG. So she was making fun of it, and she just yelled at it all night. So it's funny. Like the commentators make it fun, but I can see like the nerdy side of it too.
Yeah, there's definitely a nerdy side.
So the big news of the week outside of the gaming sphere, and this is actually a couple weeks, but the government's PRISM program. Most people know what that is, but just to give you an idea, basically the government's spying on you, and they say no big deal. We tap the phones, we have drones in the air, we have little nanobots in your pizza, crazy stuff like that.
Yep.
So they're spying on your every move. You should be really paranoid. Wearing tinfoil on your head, also on your genitals, just in case, because they can zap right into your babies.
I don't want to do that.
So, but the PRISM program, how that relates to us actually came out a little more this week in terms of Microsoft. Microsoft has basically, at first, something came out and it said Microsoft basically gives the government all access to everything. So they give the government encryption codes, stuff like that. Something came out today, whereas Microsoft said, well, that's not really true. We give them stuff if there's a legal reason, which to me seems like they're backpedaling. Like something got out that shouldn't have.
This isn't the first time they backpedaled on it.
Right, yeah, I know. So, does this worry you at all? Like, Microsoft has basically given the government the keys to their car, and if you get the Xbox One with that camera, they can tap into that camera anytime they want. I mean, in all honesty, like you and I, we're both pretty law-abiding people. Like we don't really do drugs. We don't do anything real illegal other than paintball people's cars because they're jerks. Not that I've ever done that.
Download Dexter.
Right. Not that you do that.
No.
But so it doesn't really affect us. But what about people who have something to hide? Do you think they should be mad at this?
Yeah. I mean, most people hate the camera in the first place because they feel like it's an invasion of their privacy.
Right.
You know, they already had that predetermined stigma that they attached to the camera.
Right.
That it always had to be plugged in, always on, or whatever. Just had that, and then the microphone always being on. Stuff like just little things like that where like
tap
okay,
into you.
Yeah, they just felt like this is just the perfect setup for us to be watched. So, I mean, this whole prison program thing, and it's just they're leaving the door open for stuff to happen.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not too concerned about it, just because I'm not too concerned about the whole government thing. Like, and most people should have known this is going on.
Yeah. But I mean, on the same token, it'd be really interesting or very cool or good publicity for the Microsoft if the government was able to stop a terrorist cell through the Xbox.
Right. What if some dude's bomb is like wired to Fus Ra Do? Fus Do Ra, I forget.
Yeah.
He was using the Kinect to set it off.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, they could have. It's funny to speculate,
right.
But yeah,
I mean, it's pretty serious stuff, and overall, I don't think most people should be worried about it. If you're honestly that worried about it, go with the tinfoil on the head and the balls, and turn your stuff off. Unplug it. If you're that worried about it, you don't got to worry about it.
Unplug it. Don't buy it.
Right. And I can guarantee you, like, Microsoft's a big target because the Windows, the Xbox One, all of that stuff. I can guarantee you that Sony probably gave them their stuff. Android probably gave them their stuff. Google. Apple's probably given them their stuff. All the cell carriers. So, honestly, I don't think anybody needs to be worried about this. It's just the latest media frenzy that people are trying to get worked up about. Because they knew the Trayvon Martin case was coming to a close.
Yeah, they need something else to jump on.
Which apparently that is causing its own problems. So of course, people need to understand how our judicial system works. No matter how much you protest, that guy is free.
Yep.
I don't agree with it. I personally don't agree with it. But he is free. There's nothing I can do about it. So I'm not going to go rally. I'm not going to go protest. I'm not going to do anything.
Just go on with your life.
I'm just going to go on with my life and
learn.
Advise you not to wear a hoodie
or Skittles or walk around in the neighborhood.
Right.
And don't attack anybody who.
By the way, we got to note this as we're in like a crime watch area now.
Oh really?
Yeah. So.
Wow.
Watching. All right. So let's talk about something a little
kid friendly.
Kid friendly. Yes. Kid friendly. So Disney Infinity is Skylanders.
Basically, Disney's version of Skylanders. Disney wants a piece of that. What, $1 billion in sales that Skylanders recently got. So I mean,
right.
More power to them.
All right. Well, let's play this bit. So we'll turn the sound down so you guys can hear us. So Disney Infinity.
Now, Disney Infinity, it comes in two modes. Like I was wondering how it was going to work. Because Skylanders, basically, you can buy the figures and put them into the game together, and there's like each game has like a story mode to it where you can put whatever figures into that game. Disney Infinity doesn't work exactly the same way. There's like a playset mode where only the characters from that playset can work in that playset. So like if you have a Pirates of the Caribbean playset, only Jack Sparrow, Barbossa, and Davy Jones, you can only use those characters in that little world. Then there's a toy box world where that's where you can mix and match all your characters. There's
Which is
basically,
what we're watching.
which is what we're watching now. And in the toy box world, you have freedom to create the world. Create your own games basically, and use all the figures that you buy. They're about $13 a piece.
Right.
And just create your own game, and that's what it kind of gives it an infinite reality to it. I mean, you can keep playing it. That's where they get the Disney Infinity from.
Right.
So
yeah, that's pretty cool.
I'm not big into these games. Like, it's the reason I found it intriguing was because this is an idea I thought they should have done when I was a kid.
Right.
I like
was
action
the dream.
figures. Yeah, I like video games and I loved action figures. And this is like the perfect combination of the two. Like, I'd love to have my action figure in a video game, and it's cool to actually see it happening now. And
yeah, like I said, I don't want to say I'm excited for it, but I'm intrigued by it that this is becoming a major thing. Like Skylanders, I kind of initially wrote off on. It's its own thing, so that's why it's so popular. So I'm interested to see how well these other ones do. Like we talked about Angry Birds, we're talking about Infinity now, and Disney definitely has the IPs behind it.
Oh yeah,
they got all these characters, all this stuff. People were already talking about Lilo and Stitch. I wish they had this. Wreck-It Ralph, Nightmare Before Christmas, Star Wars, Marvel, all of that. So this could be really cool. I mean, you see tracks, you see all kinds of different games. There's from Wreck-It Ralph.
Yep.
So I'm intrigued by this. This is really cool. And I did like that scene where the kid from The Incredibles is racing the car from Cars.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
So, yeah, overall, it seems pretty interesting. I think we'll get a release date coming up.
Yeah, I believe it was August, I believe.
But yeah, it comes in multiple sets. Like the initial set is gonna be like Jack Sparrow, Sully, and something else.
The guy from The Incredibles.
Right. That.
Yep.
Basically them there. So there you go. Pre-order now. You can go through all major retailers. Your kids are probably gonna love it.
Oh, they
Lily is already asking me for it. She can't even talk.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Disney Infinity.
So
August 18th.
all right. So switching gears completely. Let's talk about something not kid friendly.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah. Last of Us. Last of Us is a PlayStation 3 exclusive made by Naughty Dog, people who made Uncharted, who also made Crash Bandicoot, which is the far superior games. But anyway, they went a different direction with this. Basically, Last of Us is single player and multiplayer. I'm not reviewing the multiplayer because I didn't get a chance to try it because I just rented the game. I hear the multiplayer is great, but that has no effect on my review. So I'll play the video. So basically, Last of Us follows Joel and Ellie. How you get Ellie, I don't want to spoil too much. That's kind of why I picked this video because it's kind of in the middle of the story where not too much happens. You fight some zombies, you sneak around, stuff like that. But that's the overall game. Like basically, the story is you grab Ellie for some reason, and you have to get her across the country. There are twists and turns along the way. Characters you meet along the way that are. Some are more interesting than others.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like most people build this as like a Uncharted type of action game where I personally think it's more of a survival horror game most of the time. Like there are your action sequences and stuff like that. I honestly think it's like Resident Evil 5 that they wanted to make. Like it has the action parts in it, and it also has the scary parts in it, and the scary parts are scary. Like there are definitely consequences if you do something wrong. There are enemies that will one-shot you.
It's very unforgiving and kind of realistic.
Right, and there are multiple ways to deal with them. Like really, you kind of go in between, fighting and running. Like there's certain points where you have to fight, so you kind of have to discern a good strategy to sneak around and take them out silently, and then eventually it erupts into like an all-out brawl type of thing. And then there are other times that you can just sneak past them if you're good enough. If your AI doesn't randomly shoot.
Yeah. The AI was...
I should point out that the companion AI, with the exception of Ellie. Ellie has done pretty well,
Mm-hmm.
but the other companions are awful. Like
Yeah.
like you meet this guy named Bill. He has to escort you through town for something,
Mm-hmm.
and at one point we're sneaking along, and he's like, "All right, now be very quiet," and then he just starts running, like
Yeah.
not sneaking, just straight runs, and attracts all the zombies, and that was one of the bigger firefights that I got into.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I want to kind of put this in the survival horror category is all the supplies are extremely limited. Bullets are limited. You use a kind of easy to understand crafting system.
Mm-hmm.
Like you basically collect 6 components and you choose how to mix those components into certain things.
Yeah.
Really, there's only like 5 or 6 things you can make, but the components are shared, so you have to choose. Like, do I want to make a Molotov or do I want to make healing stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Because they use the same, basically the same components.
Cloth and alcohol.
Right. So, overall, I was really impressed with the way the survival horror played out. Story is really good in this game. Like it definitely keeps you moving forward. There are ups and downs. There are sad moments, and they play those pretty heavily. It is a very character driven game,
Which is, I think, is Naughty Dog's biggest strength. Is that, I mean, they have a good core of writers, and they know how to play the character element for the games, which is the main thing that I thought was it that I had held against Tomb Raider. It was still a good game. This game kind of reminded me of what Tomb Raider could possibly be, but Tomb Raider was lacking in that character element of the game. Right. But yeah, I love Naughty Dog's their storytelling in their games. So.
This game is very straightforward. Like it is a straight path. The other thing I should mention is there are not a lot of trophies for this game, and most of the trophies are pretty hard to get. Like maybe not hard isn't the right word, but time intensive to get. So
I figure that's probably for a game that's like a single player mostly, and I guess for you to get the most out of your game, they're gonna want you to play through it at least like one really good playthrough, or play through it multiple times in order to get all the trophies.
Yeah. One thing I didn't really like about this game is the aiming. The aiming still hasn't felt right. Now there are some upgrades that you can kind of get to get rid of the weapon sway, but even at there's 2 levels of the upgrade. Even at half of that, even with one upgrade, it still hasn't made much of a difference. So I don't know if they just went for a more realistic approach and it just didn't translate well or what. But when you actually aim to shoot a gun, you want to make it count, and sometimes that's harder than you think it is.
And watching you play, it definitely looked tough.
Yeah, they went for that more realistic approach. Melee weapons play a big role in it, but I feel like the melee weapons break a little too fast. Like you could get stuff that kind of upgrades their durability, but overall and we're gonna see something here, but overall I feel like they really don't last that long.
Nah, yeah, I was a little disappointed in how quickly something would break. Cause like when you got that machete, you got 3 chops with it.
Yeah, I mean even though the machete was like a one-hit kill to anything it touched, you didn't get to use it that much, which I guess they kind of want to balance it like that. But it seemed like they could have been a little more forgiving. And I did play it on normal, so this isn't hard or easy. This is I tried to play it right down the middle. But overall, it was a really good game. Like I haven't finished it yet. I'm near the end. From what I've read, I'm about probably 2-3 hours away from the end. But I've played it enough to kind of discern what's going on.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Like it honestly, I don't know if I'd spend $60 on it, but I would have, like, had I not rented it, I would have bought it for 20 or 30 and been happy.
Yeah.
Especially if the multiplayer is as good as people say it is.
Yeah, I mean, I was waiting. I'm glad I waited. I knew it was a single player game, but now I'm kind of torn for Beyond Two Souls because I know it's going to be I'm going to play through it. And unless I want to get those other endings, see those other scenes, it's still that's it.
Yeah, I mean, renting these kind of games seems like the way to go. Like same thing we did with Tomb Raider. We blew through Tomb Raider in like 2 days. So overall, 9 out of 10. What about you? You didn't
I
really
pro- I
play it,
didn't
but
really
you
play it,
got
but
to experience
I got
it.
to experience it, and I was thinking I'd go with like 8.5.
Okay.
8.5. Yeah, not 9. 9 is good for this game. I just from what I saw, the AI bugged me, and the aiming.
The aiming was a little rough. Honestly, the AI was annoying when they were around, but luckily you don't have to deal with them too much. And like I said, Ellie is pretty good.
Yeah.
Like I feel like they invested the time, kind of like Elizabeth in BioShock Infinite. They invested the time into her to kind of make her, seem good.
Yeah.
They just didn't do that for the other ones. Now the enemy AI is amazing.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
They
Especially the human enemies.
yeah, they will flank you. They will, do stuff to get you disoriented and all kinds of stuff. So that adds to the toughness of the game. So that's pretty cool. So 9 out of 10. Last of Us. If it's on sale, pick it up. I would honestly say rent it right now to go through the single player. If you really enjoyed it, maybe buy it. Because I haven't heard the multiplayer is good. So, all right, deal of the week is a lot of them. Because the Steam Summer Sale is going on. Holy crap, the Steam Summer Sale! Like there is so much stuff. Like Fallout New Vegas Ultimate Edition, $250. Wow, amazing deal. Yes, I bought that one for $250. I've never played New Vegas.
Yeah, 250 ain't bad then.
There is an article, and I think it's on IGN, but it might be Joystick. The psychology behind the Steam Summer Sale. Which basically, most people what they do is they wait for this sale and they buy all these games and then they never play them because they're so cheap. Like the other one I bought was Mark of the Ninja, which is also $3.
Oh wow, cool.
So because you had previewed that and I wanted to check that out. But like right now, Skyrim Legendary Edition, a new release, has all the DLC.
Yeah.
Is $30 instead of $60, so that's pretty good. Like the Civ 5 expansion, Brave New World, came out last Tuesday. Is already 30% off.
I feel sorry for anybody who bought it.
I feel bad for anybody who pre-ordered it.
Yeah.
They got all kinds of stuff. Like Terraria is $250 right now, or $275, I forget. Like Hitman yesterday was
Absolution.
Yeah, Hitman Absolution was like $4. Let's see, I might still have it up on here. I'll give you the list of today's deals. Let's see. We got, I think it's uploaded. We got Devil May Cry for 50% off for $25. You got Mark of the Ninjas $374. You get Crisis 2 Ultimate for $9, which is 70% off. Alan Wake is 90% off.
Wow.
So you can get it for $2.99. Yeah, so Skyrim Legendary is $35. Assassin's Creed 3 is 40% off for $23. And then there's all these other deals from yesterday, like you can pick up Dishonored for $10. Terraria for $250. Max Payne 3 for $10.
Wow.
So, check out the Steam sale because there are.
Was that Final Fantasy?
No, I think you were seeing.
Yeah.
Castle Crashers for $374. So check out the Steam sale. That's all I can say. They do flash sales every 8 hours. They change big sales every 24 hours, and they have community votes every 8 hours. I think it's 8 hours. Like Skyrim was the community vote. Let's see what's up next. It looks like Civilization 5 will probably be winning next, which is 75% off.
Wow.
So yeah, spend some money. They also have they launched trading cards, like Steam launched trading cards. We didn't really do a news story on this because I didn't really understand it, so I didn't know how to explain it. But it's basically what it is. You play games, you get cards in your inventory for Steam, and you can like sell them and trade them to people.
For what?
Money.
Wow.
Like I have a whole bunch of Borderlands 2 cards, and like you can go to like the sell screen, and it gives you a little graph of what the card is worth over time. So obviously a lot of cards are like start expensive and then kind of go down as more people get them.
Okay.
But like some cards are selling for like $2 or $3 a piece, which is pretty good for a card you got for just playing a game you already bought. And that goes right into your Steam wallet, so It's another smart thing from Valve, like kind of greasing the wheels, because you're like, oh well, the Steam sale's going on, and Skyrim Legendary Edition's $35, but I already played regular Skyrim, so I don't know if I want to invest into that. Maybe I played it on Xbox, PlayStation.
Yeah.
But then you're like, oh wait, I have $10 from these cards I sold. Okay, well now it's only $25. All right, so now I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah.
And when you buy it, you get 2 more cards because you get a card for every $10 you spend during the sale.
Wow.
It's that vicious circle.
The cycle continues.
So, and of course there's like if you collect all the cards from the sale, like whenever you spend $10, you get a random card from the sale. They have like these summer getaway cards. I think I might.
Valve, you guys are geniuses.
I think I might have a picture of it. Let's see. Maybe not. Anyway, if you collect all those, you get a badge, and the badge is worth so much. So it's like layers on layers of stuff for you to spend money on. So they are geniuses.
Yeah.
But yeah, check out the Steam sale. I think that's it.
Pretty much.
I think we had a pretty full show. We talked about a lot of stuff. Let's Plays will probably be commencing early August. We're gonna try to figure some stuff out. We're both pretty busy now. So,
yeah.
Like you literally got here 10 minutes before the show started.
Yep.
So you, I've never seen anybody eat a hot dog that fast. I'm a little worried what you're doing at this second job because you ate that hot dog so fast. But we'll be
thinking about another one.
Oh, I bet you were. But we'll be starting the Let's Plays. I'll probably start streaming if I get a chance. I don't quite know what yet. But I do want to get back to at least streaming maybe one night a week for, a small amount of time. With the baby, I can't really commit to, like the 4 or 5 hour streams that I was doing there for a while with the Warcraft raids. But I do want to get back to at least doing something. So maybe Final Fantasy 14 when it comes out. That's end of August. Maybe something from the Steam sale.
I want to finish finish up XCOM when I get time. Once I finish the short film and stuff, I've been thinking about it. I'm really bitter about the mode that I'm playing and the way I just gimped my game. So
yeah, I'm sad you have it on Xbox, so we can play multiplayer.
Yeah, multiplayer would be cool.
Maybe Terraria. We'll figure something out. So otherwise, we'll see you next week every Tuesday, 7 o'clock. We're getting better at starting on time and ending on time. So. Hopefully next week we will also start on time.
Adios.
Hasta la mañana.
Gamers Digest is a Spider One and Mr. Factastic production. All characters and games are owned by their respective companies and are used under the Fair Use Law. Check out Gamers Digest at gamersdigest.me, on YouTube under Gamers Digest Podcast, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter at The Gamers Digest. Viewer questions and comments can always be sent to gamersdigestpodcast@gmail.com. See you next week.